Avilio. Welcome, wizards, witches, and nomads. My name's David Cicello, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to visit my channel, Wands and Reviews. Dementors are among the foulest creatures that walk the earth. They infest the darkest, filthiest places, then glory in decay and despair. They drain peace, hope, and happiness out of the air around them. Get too near a Dementor, and every good feeling, every happy memory will be sucked out of you. If it can, the Dementor will feed on you long enough to reduce you to something like itself, soulless and evil. You'll be left with nothing but the worst experiences of your life, and you will be just an empty shell that lost its soul. That is how Remus Lupin describes Dementors. It's pretty scary, as Dementors are considered one of the foulest of the dark creatures to inhabit the wizarding world. As you may be aware, I love creatures, and a Dementor is of no exception. I saw that Iron Studios had created a Dementor statue with the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry as its base, in representation of when Sirius Black escaped Azkaban prison, and the Dementors were sent there to guard the school. I wanted one of these statues, but it quickly sold out. So I placed my name on the waiting list, and several months later, it came to be back in stock on the Iron Studios website. And of course, I purchased one. And today, I would love to share the Dementor statue with you. This is the box that the Dementor statue comes in. It has all the product information for the statue inside. And from the time I placed my order to it being processed and shipped, it took about 10 days before it was delivered. I'm going to carefully remove the Dementor from the box. Okay, as you can see, the Dementor comes in the standard white design box that many of the Wizarding World items come in. And it says 10 years of Iron Studios there. And it has a nice picture of the Dementor. I'm going to very carefully open this up, as I've seen some other YouTube reviews on this item, and people say that it's very fragile, and some have actually broken this piece while taking it out of the box. So hopefully that will not happen here today. I'm glad that they included some assembly instructions. Okay. Before I go any further, I'm going to take a couple quick pictures so I can have my visual boards to share with you. Just going to take the one photo for now because I wanted to show how it looks inside the foam packaging. I think I'm going to start with the smaller pieces first. This is the base, which is Hogwarts Castle. One of the small Dementors. the medium-sized Dementor. Even though it says it's made out of polystone, these smaller Dementors are plastic. And they do seem very fragile just because there's so many of the robe parts, flying off. So you might want to be extremely careful while handling this.
Okay. There's something wrapped in this.
That is the left hand and forearm of the large Dementor. Okay, this definitely needs a picture because there's a lot of the black foam pieces tucked into the Dementor. And I'll show that to you. Okay, I'm going to carefully remove the Dementor piece out and lay it right here. Because I am guessing somewhere, here it is. Is the other hand. And yes, it is the right hand and forearm.
That's all that's in the phone.
As you can see, there's lots of the black foam sponges holding this to protect it. So hopefully nothing will happen as I carefully start to remove them. Okay, and starting right from the beginning, that is a piece of the Dementor's robe. And it is a clean crack off of the polystone, so luckily I'll be able to super glue it back together. And where the piece broke off is right there, so I can glue it. I know a lot of companies use polystone for statues, but I've never been a real big fan of polystone. Yes, it's cost effective, but it's very fragile, and if the piece gets hot or cold, it will snap very easily. So you want to keep it somewhere in your house where the temperature change is not drastic. Okay, I do believe that I got all the foam sponge pieces off of the Dementor, and you can see there's a lot of the robe flowing out, and each one of those parts is fragile. Okay. I'm going to pause here so I can super glue this piece back onto the statue. I'll be back in a moment. I glued the broken piece of the robe back onto the large Dementor, and so far it looks like it's holding and it's not going to fall off. So I guess I'm grateful that there were no major catastrophes with the statue being broken, but I am a little bit bummed that this piece did break off while it was in shipping. And the instructions, they're nice, but they're a little bit difficult to figure out where the pieces go. And on the base, on this side of the castle, you got the two towers. The little Dementor, when you look at the two towers facing you, there's a hole that it will plug into on the right one. And the medium Dementor will plug into the hole on the left tower. And you'll have to be very careful when doing so, because even though these pieces seem to be made of plastic, they might be the cold cast polystone. So you're going to have to be very careful when placing them in, just so you don't break them. Here we go. And there are little shapes where they need to line up just exact.
Alright. There you go.
The little Dementor, when going through the hole in the first tower, is very tight. It is lined up correctly, and it will not go in any further, but it is sticking out just a little bit, and I don't like that. But it's firm, it's in place. I don't think it's going to fall out. Now the medium Dementor, which is a lot more fragile than the little one, has the peg at the bottom here that plugs into the left tower. Okay, I'm having a little bit of difficulty trying to make it line up. Being very careful of trying to push it into the hole. It is lined up, but wow. It's in there, but again, it sticks out just a little bit, and I do not like that. I really wish the peg would fit in completely.
Just gonna.
Well, that's as far as it's going to go. And the two little Dementors are on the base, and they do seem to be affixed pretty good. It's just, again, I wish the pegs would fit in all the way. But yeah, they don't seem to be falling off. Now, according to the instructions, the big Dementor, it says it'll be easier to assemble while holding the base and the main Dementor upside down, using the connection pin in the base as a guide to fit the hole on the bottom of the main Dementor. Make sure both parts are locked in place. This large Dementor, I'm kind of afraid of handling it just because of all the robe pieces. But actually, I'm going to not put it in upside down, because the base and the peg, it's shaped and it only fits one way. And it slid right into place with no problem. So that's the Dementor so far on the base, and I'm very happy that it's not like overly heavy on one side and has a nice balance to it. Now, the arms and hands, as you can see, they just have a little peg, and they're going to plug right into the Dementor statue itself. And they are shaped so they only fit one way. If you can find the hole.
There we go.
And this is the Dementor statue assembled. What are your thoughts on this Dementor statue? I really like it, though I did find it a little iffy when putting it together, as I was scared that the robe pieces or just any part of it might break while inserting them into the base. And you really do need to take your time and line it up correctly so that nothing breaks. And again, it's fragile being made out of a polystone material, which I've never been a big fan of because, again, it's very fragile. And having pieces come off like this, you're going to want to have this on a shelf for display where nobody is going to be able to mess with it, because you do not want to risk breaking any part of this statue off. Now, I hope I didn't scare you by saying how fragile this statue is, but if you would like to purchase the Dementor statue for your very own collection, you can purchase it directly from the Iron Studios website. That is, if they still currently have any available, and if not, you may be able to put your name on a waiting list like I did. And as usual, I'll leave a link in the description below. I really hope you enjoyed this video review today. If you did, please show my channel some warmth from the coldness of a Dementor by clicking on that thumbs up button. And while you're here, why not subscribe to my channel if you're not already doing so? I really do appreciate it, as I'm trying to gain more subscribers, and you can help me out by sharing this video with your family and all of your friends. And I promise I won't turn any of them in to Azkaban prison. Thank you, and please, have a happy day.